Hello everyone. Today we will discuss about transamination. In mammalian tissues, alpha amino group of amino acids is converted first to ammonia and then to urea, and this urea is excreted in urine. This is known as catabolism of amino acid. If this is the amino acid RCHNH2COOH, this is amino acid. This alpha amino group is first converted to ammonia, then to urea. This urea is excreted in urine. So, the formation of urea involves action of several enzymes. The reactions involved in catabolism of amino acids are mainly 5 reactions are there. Transamination, second one is deamination. It is of two types, oxidative and non-oxidative. Oxidative and non-oxidative. Then third one is transdeamination. Fourth one is ammonia transport. And the fifth one is formation of urea. These are the reactions in the catabolism of amino acids. Then urea is the end product of amino acid catabolism in human beings and in ureotelic animals. So next we will see transamination. This transamination is a reversible reaction in which alpha amino group of one amino acid is transferred to a keto acid, alpha keto acid, and it results in the formation of a new amino acid and a new keto acid. We will see the reaction. COOH, CHNH2, R1. This is the alpha amino acid. It is the donor amino acid. So, we need one recipient keto acid. COOH, C double bond O, R2. This is the alpha keto acid. That is the recipient. Then it is converted to COOH, C double bond O, R1. This is new keto acid. New keto acid plus COOH, CHNH2, R2. This is new amino acid. So this is the reaction in transamination. That is, it's a reversible reaction in which this alpha amino group of the donor amino acid is transferred to a keto acid. This alpha amino group is transferred to a keto group and this keto acid is converted to a new amino acid. And here after removal of the amino group, it is converted to a new keto acid. That is the reaction. It is a process of combined deamination and amination. That is transamination. This donor amino acid, it becomes a new keto acid. This donor amino acid becomes a new keto acid, and the recipient alpha keto acid, that becomes a new amino acid. By receiving the NH2 group from the alpha amino acid, this alpha keto acid becomes a new amino acid. The process represents only an intermolecular transfer of amino group. Here there is not the splitting of ammonia. There will not be any splitting out of ammonia. So ammonia formation does not take place by this transamination. This is the first reaction in the catabolism of amino acids. Then this reaction is reversible and is catalyzed by enzymes. Transamination takes place principally in liver, kidney, heart and brain. But the enzyme is present almost in all mammalian tissues, and so transamination can be carried out in all tissues to some extent. Then the enzymes involved in transamination are called transaminases. Transaminases or aminotransferases. Aminotransferases. These are the enzymes involved in transamination. Then coenzyme required for the reaction is pyridoxal phosphate. Pyridoxal phosphate, that is B6P. We will see the role of pyridoxal phosphate in transamination. First one is donor amino acid, that is R1CHNH2COOH. In the presence of this enzyme transaminase, here recipient keto acid R1C double bond O COOH, that is the keto acid. This is alpha amino acid, that is the donor. This is alpha keto acid, that is the recipient. So in the presence of the enzyme transaminase and in the presence of this pyridoxal phosphate, CH2OOP, here CHOOH, then here CH3, here N. This is pyridoxal phosphate. It is converted to, here it is pyridoxamine phosphate. This CHO becomes CHNH2. CH2NH2, then CH2OOP, here OH, here CH3, here N. This is pyridoxamine phosphate. Pyridoxamine phosphate, here the reaction is new amino acid, that is R2CHNH2COOH. This is new amino acid. Here it is new keto acid, COOH, then C double bond O R2. This is new keto acid. So this is the role of pyridoxal phosphate in transamination. In transamination, this amino acid, the donor amino acid reacts with the enzyme bound pyridoxal phosphate. Enzyme is transaminase. Enzyme bound pyridoxal phosphate to form, first it forms enzyme bound complex of Schiff base type. It forms a complex, Schiff base complex. This Schiff base complex then yields a new keto acid and pyridoxamine phosphate. First, the alpha amino acid reacts with the enzyme bound pyridoxal phosphate and it forms a complex, that is called Schiff base complex. This then yields this new keto acid and pyridoxamine phosphate. So amino acid plus pyridoxal phosphate, it forms a new keto acid plus pyridoxamine phosphate. Then the next reaction is this pyridoxamine, they formed a pyridoxamine phosphate, then reacts with a second keto acid to produce a similar enzyme bound complex, that is Schiff base complex, and then it decomposes to form second amino acid, new amino acid, and the pyridoxal phosphate is regenerated. That is the role of pyridoxal phosphate in transamination. Then there are some limitations in transamination reaction. We will see the limitations. First one is group transaminases. Group transaminases. Most amino acids can act as donor, but the recipient keto acids may be either alpha keto acid, alpha keto glutarate, then oxaloacetate and pyruvate. So most amino acids can act as donor, but the recipient keto acids may be either alpha keto acid or oxaloacetate or pyruvate. All these recipient keto acids are components of TCA cycle. These are the components of TCA cycle, and so they are common metabolites of the cell and are easily available. These three keto acids are easily available. Then the amino acids formed from these recipient keto acids are, first from alpha keto glutarate, it is glutamic acid. glutamic acid. From oxaloacetate, it is aspartic acid. Aspartic acid, and from pyruvate is alanine. So these are the amino acids formed from these alpha keto acids. So the transaminases which can use any of these keto acids are called as group transaminases. Transaminases which can use any one of these keto acids, they are called as group transaminases. Next we will see specific transaminases. Specific transaminase. These are the limitations of transamination reaction. So specific transaminase means there are two transaminases of clinical importance in the body. They are specific amino acid and they use specific amino acid and specific keto acids. There are two transaminases that have clinical importance in the body. They use specific amino acids and specific keto acids. These are AST and ALT, that is aspartate transaminase. This is aspartate transaminase. This other names of AST are aspartate transaminase or aspartate aminotransferase or SGOT, that means serum glutamate oxaloacetate transaminase. Then this ALT means alanine aminotransferase or alanine transaminase or SGPT, serum glutamate pyruvate transaminase. These are the specific transaminase. These specific clinical important transaminases. These are aspartate transaminase. This aspartate transaminase, we will see the aspartate transaminase AST. It is also known as aspartate aminotransferase or SGOT. SGOT means serum glutamate oxaloacetate transaminase. So the reaction is aspartate plus alpha keto glutarate. It forms oxaloacetate plus glutamate. So in the reaction, aspartic acid is the aspartate or aspartic acid is the donor amino acid and alpha keto glutarate is the recipient keto acid. And the new amino acid formed is always glutamate, that is specific transaminase. The new amino acid formed will be always glutamate, that is AST. Then next we will see ALT. Next specific transaminase is ALT. It is also known as alanine transaminase or alanine aminotransferase or SGPT. SGPT means serum glutamate pyruvate transaminase. The reaction is alanine plus alpha keto glutarate. Alanine plus alpha keto glutarate. It gives glutamic acid. Pyruvate plus glutamic acid. Pyruvate plus glutamic acid. Here alanine is the donor amino acid and alpha keto glutarate is recipient keto acid. And here also the new amino acid formed will be always glutamic acid. So that's why its name is specific transaminase. Then there are amino acids which do not take part in transamination. There are certain amino acids which do not take part in transamination. They are, for example, lysine, threonine, then cyclic amino acids, then proline and hydroxyproline. These amino acids, do not take part in transamination. The next one is transamination is not restricted to alpha amino group. It is not restricted to alpha amino group. For example, the alpha amino group of ornithine, it is transaminated to form glutamate gamma semialdehyde. So the transamination is not restricted to alpha amino group. That is the limitations of transamination. Next we will see clinical significance of transamination. Clinical significance of transaminases. We already told that these two specific transaminases are of clinical importance, that is AST and ALT. First we will see AST or SGOT. Normal serum activity is about 4 to 17 IU per liter. This concentration of enzyme is very high in myocardium and also in liver cells. In myocardium and in liver cells. The enzyme is also distributed in other tissues, that is muscles, pancreas and kidney. This enzyme is cytoplasmic and mitochondrial. Cytoplasmic and mitochondrial. It is helpful in acute myocardial infarction. It increases in liver diseases. In liver diseases it increases, but this increase is less than that of ALT. It increases in muscular dystrophies, that is myositis. No increase in muscular disease of nervous origin. Then increased activity is seen in acute pancreatitis, leukemias and in acute hemolytic anemia. Acute pancreatitis, leukemia and acute hemolytic anemia. Then a rise is seen in therapy with erythromycin. Then this is about clinical significance of AST. Then coming to ALT, serum glutamate pyruvate transaminase, that is SGPT. Normal enzyme activity is 3 to 15 IU per liter. The enzyme is found mainly in liver only. It is entirely cytoplasmic. But this AST is cytoplasmic and mitochondrial. This ALT is entirely cytoplasmic. Increase in both transaminases, AST and ALT increase are common finding in hepatic diseases, but always increase in ALT will be greater than AST in hepatic diseases. It is most useful in assessing severity and progress of the disease in acute viral hepatitis. Acute viral hepatitis. It is most useful in assessing severity and progress of the disease in acute viral hepatitis. Highest values are seen in acute viral hepatitis and the peak values about 250 to 1500. 250 to 1500 IU per liter or more is seen at the time of maximum illness in acute viral hepatitis. It is useful for screening in outbreaks of acute viral hepatitis. So these are the clinical significance of transamination. So this is about transamination. This is today's topic. Thank you for watching.